As you're well aware, today we're announcing our capability of integrating MeetingPlace with Microsoft's NetMeeting via T.120 protocol. We're very excited about this announcement. The reason that we've invited our illustrious group of speakers here today is because we really think, as much as anything, this is part of an industry announcement. In the last 3 years, as we've been selling, we've noticed a very marked change in corporations where people are actually taking a very conscious and deliberate attempt to develop an overall conferencing strategy. And often that's the catalyst for much of that is hopefully their analysis of Latitude and MeetingPlace. And at the core of that concept, we believe, is this belief that voice and data conferencing will be a workhorse application in an enterprise.
As Emil mentioned, we are introducing data-enabled voice conferencing. One of the things that we do differentiate is really this whole term of data-enabled voice conferencing. Specifically, what Latitude is bringing to the marketplace is an integrated data conference bridge. And what it will do is it will support multiple connections of both NetMeeting and other T.120 endpoints. So the solution that Latitude brings to the market specifically is to use the people's existing telephones and their existing networked PCs that are already on their desktop to provide voice and data conferencing. And what that will do is it will provide very cost-effective, business-quality voice and efficient data transport suitable for the entire enterprise.
What's the dynamics of this market? What's going on at this point in time? What's Gartner Group's view? And I'm going to cover some of the ideas of trends, technology, and really from an end-user perspective, which is really where I spend a lot of my time targeting my research, is to give what is the advice at this point in time for conferencing technologies. Folks like you and me who are on the road, in fact, now our offices are totally distributed, and a need to connect. And this need to connect is within teams, within areas of work, and a need to disseminate, share, and manage information. This will continue. Video has grown, audio has grown, but both within their own traditional space. And now we see the dynamics coming together in terms of the technology to allow for a convergence of the audio and the data conferencing portions. So there is a synergy here that we have not seen in the past, where servers, pricing of servers, gateways between IP networks and public switch telephone networks, in essence what I call sort of this dual connected server, if you will, are key elements that are coming together to help drive the deployment of an infrastructure that will allow this to happen. I don't want to diminish it all, and I'll leave it till later to Brent to talk about Microsoft, but it is very clear that this influence of having NetMeeting as a free client bundled in with Windows is a very, very key component driving this market at this stage. I will stress again that those of you who are network managers out there responsible for performance of your IP networks, here's another one that's a sleeper that'll catch you. I support this point that's being made today about a dual connected server between the public switch network and IP networks. Voice for voice, data for data is one point I truly can support here, because while it says transport endpoints will be commodities, and even at this show there's a lot of hype around IP telephony, we don't see it. Okay, IP telephony is almost a solution without a need. We estimate that if companies got in front of the curve here and really managed the conferencing and meeting activity within their organizations, what is a communication expense could be reduced anywhere in the range of 30 to 40%. There is a business case here.
DataBeam is a supplier of T.120 and H.323 standards-based technologies and also products to the market. In this case, we're very excited about working with Latitude and their whole data-enabled voice initiative. What I'm going to talk about today is where the value of a centralized data conferencing server comes into play in a data-enabled voice network. Actually, the conferences themselves are started and managed at the centralized server rather than by endpoints. This is very similar to the way an audio conference works. In fact, we modeled it very closely after the way audio conferences are set up today. A centralized server provides a meet-me paradigm. This is what you were seeing in the demonstration. Come to a URL and we'll meet and join a conference there, rather than have to memorize the phone numbers or the IP addresses or some other kind of information about all the people you want to collaborate with in your session. perfect enterprise solution you can immediately deploy. Tie NetMeeting with IP audio or with PSTN-based audio, and then tie that together into a powerful infrastructure. Tie it with a Latitude bridge combined with a Net120 data server, and now you're very quickly able to get up and running and start conferencing right away. This is a quote from our president: "The MeetingPlace nails the sweet spot of real-time collaborative computing in today's enterprise." And we really feel that this technology is at its peak at this moment, and is going to continue to be at a very exciting and a very much a growth position in the marketplace as end users are taking advantage of the current infrastructure, the telephone, and their PCs on networks, combining PSTN audio conferencing with data collaboration.
So really what data conferencing is sort of all about is really helping to enable people to be able to communicate much more effectively. And with a solution like Latitude, being able to really provide the power and the functionality that you have with the telephone for being able to communicate via audio with the data conferencing and the collaboration capabilities as part of the PC is really where taking, instead of having those as two disjoint efforts, being able to integrate them such that from one click you can use the two of them together. And that's really where the power comes into play. And Microsoft's efforts and Microsoft's goals are really to try to help to provide a catalyst to be able to accelerate the growth of the market. You know, as you can see, NetMeeting is broadly available through a number of points. One of the questions, as Art sort of alluded to, is, well, NetMeeting, why is it free? And from Microsoft's perspective, you know, we can't do anything to help accelerate the growth of the market any more than ensuring that there's broad education about the functionality and the benefits that data conferencing can provide, as well as being able to provide tools and endpoints for companies such as Latitude and DataBeam and others to be able to have customers and be able to have solutions in which they can offer and enhance the functionality that's available. One thing that's key, though, is many of these organizations today are using audio, using the telephone in conjunction with data conferencing. Today, though, most of those experiences are sort of out of band. They place a telephone call, they're communicating with somebody, they then have to articulate how to be able to connect that. How do I actually initiate a NetMeeting conference? So that's where we find solutions like what Latitude is announcing today as really a great boon for the industry, a boon for our customers to be able to really push the technology forward.
Thanks very much for your attendance this morning.